Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday. Don't miss out on the exclusive limited edition You Gon' Know Me t-shirts. That's right, You Gon' Know Me t-shirts are now available. Be sure to reach out to J-Dub the King to secure your very own t-shirt today. You can contact J-Dub the King via social media at J-Dub the King or through email at jdubtheking@gmail.com. But that's not all. While you're at it, make sure to keep up the hype by streaming the hit single You Gon' Know Me by J-Dub the King featuring Yuckmouth and Drew on all major digital platforms. Let's keep the momentum going.
What up? What's good? What's good? What's good? You already know what it is. It's a brand new Wednesday, brand new week, brand new episode of PD&J. What's good today? I'm your host, Jay.
This shit was nasty, man. What the fuck? Why you let me do that?
You did it. Mike.
What's up, Mike? What's up, folks? Oh my God, that aftertaste. Jesus.
What did you do? Tell people what you did.
God. Never again. That's all I gotta say. Never again. Y'all ain't gotta worry about it. We here, we live. How y'all doing today, folks? We got some things we want to slang.
No Diddy.
No doubt. They're gonna take that. What's good? Oh yeah. You got to kind of give them a peek, dude. They can't see that.
Oh, they saw the commercial. It's all good.
Yeah, they saw the commercial, but they didn't see it actually.
I'm not doing that.
They're not doing the advertisements.
Nah, we're not.
The advertisements. Excuse me. It's not advertisements. Advertisements.
Yes. Okay. All right. So let's jump right into it. There's a lot that's happened over the week, right? Especially on Sunday.
Sunday, man. Sunday was a day to. I tell you what,
they say it's the Lord's Day.
Wait. I'm gonna say this. And y'all can either say it or not. Those of you that don't believe in a higher power, don't believe in God, I tell you what. Talk to the preacher at what's the name of the church? Jesus what?
Dwells.
Jesus dwells in Pennsylvania, Allegheny County, right outside of Pittsburgh. His congregation and him is witnesses that there is a God.
All right, so back in the day, tune into prior episodes. We talked about Bishop Lamar Whitehead. If you guys don't know who that is, go ahead and Google him. Convicted of fraud, got robbed, pistol whipped in front of his congregation on the Sunday, right? That's what happened, right? Now, fast forward to what happened this past Sunday. A guy, I'm going to assume he's high off his rocker. Look at the mugshot.
So let's given the facts, we know that he said there was a voice in his head that told him to do.
But look at the picture. Anywho, he goes to the church. Now, churches nowadays live stream their services, right? So the church is live streaming their service, pastors up there preaching, so on and so forth. And the guy walks into the church, walks up to the pulpit, pulls out a gun. Not only does he pull out the gun, but he pulls the trigger. Nothing happens. Gun gets jammed. Then the cameraman comes and tackles him and they disarm him and so on and so forth, right? But it doesn't stop there. After relatives have heard what this man has done, now keep in mind, he's 24 years old. 24 years old. Relatives go to the home and they find his dead cousin who's 56. They called him uncle. Dead, shot, killed by the same man that went and tried to kill the pastor.
And obviously with the same gun. So all of a sudden the gun just stopped. People will say that's just a coincidence. I hate to tell you, the bullet they say was lodged.
It was jammed
in the chamber.
Now I got a couple of questions, right? I got a couple of questions.
There's a couple of people. There's the saints and the ain'ts.
But I got a couple of questions, right? We've seen what happened to other churches when churches got shot up, right? To the point where there's some churches that allowed members of the board, the church board, to carry firearms during church services. We've seen that now, right?
Let me speak on that the correct way. It's not allowed. It's just not talked about. It's known, but it's not talked about. It's that hidden, well, we don't need to see it. Well, we don't need to know if you got it, and we don't need to see it unless you have to.
Now, my question is, how the hell did he get that close? Because in the video, you see him walking to the pulpit with the gun. It's not
he doesn't have it like that. Because when he's walking, when he gets close enough, he starts doing like this. So that's how he gets close enough. Because you got to think with a lot of churches, if you watch a lot of stream service, you'll see people go up to the pulpit and throw money or something on the pulpit, stuff like that. So it's not about him getting to the pulpit. It's not about him because he didn't have the gun drawn getting to the pulpit. He didn't have the gun drawn until he got close enough. He was in the motion.
And the other crazy part about it, based off witness testimony, and that's why I bring up that question. Based off witness testimony, two things. One, they've never seen him in that church before. And two, he never sat down. He walked into the church, walked up to the pulpit, pulled the gun. I'm sorry, me being the paranoid individual that I am, right? If I'm in a setting and I just see you walk in to an establishment or a church, and the first thing you're doing is walking up to that pulpit, the first instinct I got is, for one, make sure that my family is put away, tucked and safe, because something's about to go down. That's just the paranoia in me. I don't know how everybody else thinks, but that's just paranoia in me. I don't know. It's just crazy. But so the guy is charged formally now with criminal homicide in the first degree, attempted homicide, aggravated battery, and aggravated assault.
And now he'll be charged with murder.
That's why I said the criminal homicide, first degree. And at first, all they charged him with was the criminal attempted homicide, aggravated battery, and aggravated assault. Now you add on the criminal homicide. They wasn't giving him bail in the first. And here's another thing. They're, based off reports, they're saying he still doesn't have a lawyer.
And nobody want to take the case. You're going to give it. Probably going to get a public defender. I mean, I don't. But the whole thing is, by him claiming insanity, I mean, he got.
We don't know if he's claiming insanity. He don't have a lawyer.
The whole thing is, claiming insanity is basically admission of, I heard voices in my head. What does that say? That doesn't say I'm sane enough to stay in trial. That says I've got mental problems. So therefore, claiming insanity.
You and I would think like that, but on pen and paper, the law don't look at
that's
it.
That's where the law will look at it. Because they're not going to do anything with them right now because of that. Now they're going to give him public defender. The public defender's got to go through all that bullshit of going through all that. But the boast of it is, if you don't think there's a God, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say this, to speak to what you said, how does somebody walk in completely up there? I'm going to say this. A lot of churches don't do what I've done. My wife has seen me do it. I've given a church instructions. I've showed them on what to look for, certain things to look for. You can't be so high caught up in the service that everybody caught up in the service. Ain't nobody watching people walk in the church. Come on, man. You can't do it. You can't do it. There has to be somebody on alert at all times. All times. Truly, you don't know what's going on.
Truly, you're right. He gonna do his time in the mental asylum.
Yeah, he'll do it. He'll do it there.
And they're gonna kick him.
You mean gonna kick him?
They'll probably give him 7 years as long as he proves that he's mentally capable.
Honestly, I always say I don't speak on too much on the system. When people ask me an opinion of what somebody's gonna get, I don't speak on it because the system it has done weights and balances.
But you can't tell me that it's not flawed, though.
I didn't say it wasn't flawed. I said its own weights and balances.
Yeah.
There's no system in this world that's not flawed. And that's judicial, that's work, that's everything. There's no algorithms. Every system's flawed. There's not a perfect system out there. Not even crypto. No perfect system. Sorry.
So we dealt with that. Oh, so I forgot his name, but it's a pastor who is doing a devotion service. You know, us praise and worship, right?
Oh, Pastor Keon Carter.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead, tell the story because I have insight on this. So go ahead.
Well, me too, and I have my feelings about it too, but I keep my opinions to myself when it comes to situations like that because both sides of the spectrum I understand. Now, here's what happened. It's during the praise and worship time of the service, right? There's a woman hollering in the background as he's trying to usher in the spirit for praise and worship. He goes to the extent of stopping the praise and worship and saying, I'm paraphrasing, bitch, you need to shut up.
All he said was hush. Hush, stop that right now. That's what he said. Just tell it like it is. He said, hush, stop that right now.
And so here's the problem. It was only a snippet, so you don't have the context, right, of how this transitioned and came about. You just get that snippet
because that's what they show you on social media.
Exactly, right? And what did social media do?
They blew it up.
It went viral. He's condemned for this. He's done for that. But there are some people that's on his side at the same time saying, I understand why you did this. I understand why you did that. My position is this, and I'm going to let you talk. Growing up in the church, right, there's a time and a place for everything. There are such things as distractions.
Repeat that. Repeat that. That's important. Repeat it.
There's a time and a place for everything, right?
One more time.
Nah, they heard it.
One more time. There's a reason why. Because when I go into my spiel, you're gonna understand it. It's gonna.
Now, I get it, right? Time and place for everything. You're in praise and worship. Everybody feels the spirit differently. I get all that. Sometimes you gotta hoop, sometimes you gotta holler, sometimes you gotta shout, sometimes you gotta run. I get all that. But, and I had a conversation with my wife about this. Everybody's stuck in their own world, right? They're in their own circle. They got their own issues that they're battling, right? They're not paying attention to the next person. They're not paying attention to your neighbor, right? Is your neighbor being distracted by your worship? You know what I mean? Can your blessing, your message, your whatever be hindered by the distraction of your neighbor based off their praise?
No, you saw what I just did, right?
Didn't stop me.
Exactly, it didn't stop you. But It was a moment in time where you were interrupted because you had to stop for a second. Now, a couple things you said there. There's a time and a place. Now, that scream that she gave did not help usher in anything. It was a disruptive spirit. How do I know that? Couple reasons. First off, after all this happened, he actually ended up going on one of the talk shows because they brought him on to talk about it.
Jay Hudson. I remember it. I watched it. Specifically for that reason. I wanted to hear. And here's the thing. I don't watch these talk shows like what is it? Sherry. Jay Hudson, that's my girl though. I support her. Watched her first season, stopped watching it. What's the other girl? Kelly. Whatever. Yeah, I don't watch him. But when he came on, I specifically wanted, because the timing of him going on this interview, right? Versus when this video went viral, I'm like, he has to talk about it. Tamron Hall, that's what it was. Tamron Hall. I'm sorry. Tamron Hall. There it was. Tamron Hall. And he talked about it.
See, Mama, why are you know what? Get off keyboard, sit on your hands. Sit on your hands because you're going into my spew. You're going into it. She had a history. Now, here's the thing with that particular situation, it's a history there. And that's exactly what I was going
to. He had
through.
His ushers talk to her. Some of the deacons talked to her.
Now, here's my big thing about this. This is where my Christian side come out. I know I'm live streaming. She has a history of this. I would not have her, if she's a choir member, on the stage with the choir, because that's where she was when she was doing this. Because guess what that does? That, again, takes the praise and worship from being directing in God to now focusing on her.
Now,
I will say this, like you said, some people, that's how they get their breakthrough. They got out, they holler, they scream, they pray, they jump, they run around. That's fine. That's totally fine. I have nothing against
So
that.
When is the time and the place for that? That's the question, right?
Well, the whole thing is she's a chronic person like this, meaning she does that. Honestly, I'll say this right off the bat. Attention. Because there's a difference. You can hear somebody when they're in the spirit. You can tell the difference when it's a Holy Ghost scream and just a scream for attention. You can hear it with your spiritual ear. You can hear the difference. Especially doing praise and worship, you can hear the difference. Because guess what? How you'll know the difference? If your spirit is not interrupted and you're still focused on the praise and worship and not interrupted from the curling scream of somebody sitting next to you, then you know that it is definitely a spiritual scream. But anytime somebody's screaming next to you, you're like, oh my God, what the heck is wrong with you? You all right? You need some water?
Some people got that chronic cough voice.
So
I'm sorry, but you got some of them people, really, like I said, I grew up in the church, right? I've seen a lot of things happen in the church.
I've seen people
I've gone to the extent of seeing in an apostolic church, right? You know, when they had your devotion period, come up to the altar and this, that, and everything else, right? After the sermon, right? Woman slithered herself up to the altar. One of many things that I've seen as far as
what are you saying? You keep saying it. Just say it.
Spiritual distractions within the church, right? So when it comes down to it, we talk about this all the time. We talked about it a couple weeks ago as far as like the church can go to hell, right? The book. I'm not the book.
You still haven't said what you seen.
Various different things. Like I said, from pastors having affairs with the first lady, well, not the first lady, their assistant to the first lady, and like various different things. It's a distraction from what you're trying to get out of the body of church, right?
The body of Christ, not church. Because the church is within you, so you're trying to get it out of the body of Christ. So I understand what you're saying.
The problem that I have is that with all these distractions that you see that happens in the church, it deters from coming to the church?
Here's what I have to say about that. Now, I say this again, like I said last week, and I'll keep saying it over and over again. People are going to find a reason not to go to church. I don't like the way that person looks at me. I don't like what that person wears. I don't like the way you're preaching. I don't like this. You know what? Then find a reason to go to church. Everybody wants to look for a reason not to. Find a reason to go. I'm not going to sit here and condone what you said with. That's why people don't go to church. No, people will find the littlest reason not to go to church. The one thing I will say, no church that I have seen lately has talked about how to get in. They tell you how to stay out. I say it again. There's no church that I've seen recently that has taught you how to get in. They teach you so much about what not to do. They don't teach you what to do. They don't tell you how to build a relationship with God. They tell you what to avoid to not have a relationship with God. You understand what I'm saying? People are so focused on that. They forget that the whole purpose of there's more to the Bible than the 6 or 7 scriptures you want to stick with because that's what your sins are based around.
We're tithing.
That's part of the 6 or 7 that their sins are based around. Their sins are part gluttony, money, gluttony. The glutton is for the dollar. They worship the dollar. They worship the green demon. There's too many churches that are built off of that. 6 scriptures. Then they rotate them. And then you got Christmas scripture. You got your Easter scripture, your Mother's Day scripture, your Father's Day scripture. Then the other 6 they spread out throughout the year with guest preachers.
And honestly, that's why I don't feel bad for mega churches when they fall. The supposed mega churches. Like we saw what happened with Osteen, Joel Osteen, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joel Osteen, right? You saw what happened with that with his church in Texas, right?
I'm still confused on some things with him.
What do you mean? Okay,
I'm still confused because so people got mad when he bought the old Houston Rockets Stadium and turned it into his
church. Yeah.
And then because that was a temporary till his other one was finished. That was finished. And then when I think what was it? It was another hurricane that came.
Okay.
And people got mad because he didn't open it. But then they showed the inside; it was flooded. So you wanted him to open it for people to die.
But you know his church got robbed
recently,
right?
Well, yeah, I was getting to that.
Yeah,
I was getting to that. Now, well, you already brought it up. The church gets robbed. People are talking about that's what you get, huh? So they would say the mighty have fallen. I'm gonna use all the phrases. That's what you get. The mighty have fallen. I bet he's gonna ask for extra 10% now. These are all things people were saying. Oh, look at that. His mega church is now no longer mega, is it?
I think a lot of people, and I kind of feel a certain type of way about this. That's why I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it. The transition of the state of the church is changing. And there's a lot of false narratives out there, but I think the fear is that because we see it being so transparent that it's changing in front of our face, we don't know what it's changing to. And I'm talking about the state of the church. Now,
this is what I was getting at. He didn't finish that.
Oh, when she slipped up to the pastor, he tried to cut her.
Tried to cut her.
The pastor
with a knife?
Yeah, it was crazy. Her son, both her sons, her husband, and a deacon had to tackle her down. Yeah, it was some crazy shit. But as far as like, we say it all the time, church is within you. The word even says, as long as there's 2 or more gathered in his name, he'll be there in the midst. So you don't need a building to commune, right? We know this, right? But people want that building to come to fellowship and be like-minded. And the state of where the building of the church is changing, and a lot of people don't know what it's changing to, and that's where the fear comes.
I think the fact that people can stream church now is what a lot of people don't like, because guess what? That means let me just put this out there. You have people that work from home, right, 5 days a week.
Okay.
They got their rest day. I'm just gonna turn my service on TV. When do you leave in your house to actually commune with people? There's some people that have really become hermits and don't know they're hermits. They just think it's normal now. They never leave the house. They go out grocery shopping, and what are they doing? I gotta get out of here. I need to get these groceries. Oh wait, I can do grocery shopping online now. I ain't never gotta leave the house. That's not healthy for anybody.
For some, it is.
It's not healthy at all. Your mind needs to be stimulated at some point in time with other outside of your four walls. Yeah, that's what churches were basically built for. They were built to worship. Yeah, they were built to help everybody come together and worship a higher power. But what ended up happening was that man replaced the higher power with themselves.
You know what I look at church, like the state of the church in right now? There's a story in the Bible where it talks about Yaqub, no, Jesus. In the Bible, they call him Jesus. I'm going to call him Yeshua. Walks into the church, and the church is turned into a swap meet. What we call a swap meet, right? People selling goats and this and that, and the third. And at the end of the day, he looked at it and was like, my building wasn't meant for this. And he condemned that church.
Yeah, he said, you desecrated this holy place.
Exactly.
What are y'all doing? He turned out.
That's where I mentally see the state of church today. It's a big swap meet. It's for sale. Anything's for sale.
You're in line because there's some churches, they sit there selling CDs and everything else right in the service, right outside the
T-shirts, CDs, DVDs.
So here's my thought, and this is just me. So you're asking everybody for 10%, right?
Yeah.
But you selling shirts and stuff outside. So do you really need my 10%? That's just a thought behind people not wanting to go in the building. No matter what I do, you're going to ask me for money
that I don't have. I'm already goddamn struggling. 9 times out of 10, people go to church. Why? Because they need a spiritual awakening, or they're struggling at life and need a redirection, or need focus, or understanding of their life. Either way, they're broken, battered, tattered, and bruised.
Or another thing that I've seen recently, because what's funny to me, no, actually, I'm not going to say funny. What's interesting to me, do you people not see what's happening in sports?
Be more specific with that.
C.J. Stroud, Lamar Jackson, even Patrick Mahomes at times, Brock Purdy, Mike Tomlin's even done it at times. Y'all saying, what am I talking about? These gentlemen that are the face of these sports are thanking God before they thank anybody else for their God-given talent, for the ability to showcase for us, for our enjoyment. But then people want to talk about the state of the church. To me, what I'm seeing is the state of the mega church is falling, but the state of the church is actually getting better, slowly but surely. It's getting better. Not fast enough as the mega churches are falling. They're falling. They're tumbling down. Because now people are starting to realize, like you said, it's everywhere. Dang, Pastor got a Bentley. Oh, wow, Pastor got a Cybertruck. Okay, let me try and get on that thing. What he doing? Anybody know what Pastor make? Oh, he just gets a love offering from the church of $14,000 a month for his expenditures. Oh, wow. Well,
and then now
you don't really need my 10% to do it.
And then nowadays, no, not only that, we see the corruptionists within churches, right? And I'll be more specific, right? Let's go back a little bit, right?
Lamar Whitehead. Go right. He's a perfect example. Perfect front and former.
You don't have to go to theology school to get certified.
To get your doctorate.
You don't.
You can literally go online. Actually, I'm sorry. Not your doctorates, to get ordained. I apologize.
Yeah, to get ordained.
To get ordained, you can go online and just get.
Yeah. And then as you're ordained, you can long as you got the funding, you can open up a church.
Now, here's a crazy thing. If you're ordained a deacon, you become a pastor. You can become a pastor.
That part.
You only need to be ordained as a deacon.
That
become
part.
a pastor. You can't become
That
a bishop quite yet, but you can become. You can call yourself. You can get the name of pastor by all means. We know ultimately all things will be made new, and the things of this former world will be forgotten and never returned to memory. Yep. What's funny? Correct me if I'm wrong, Trulu, but is that not also in the Quran?
That's where we probably got it from.
But that's mostly out of that's what I'm getting to. Is that, but it's also in the Quran. I'm asking him to confirm it with me. I'm not asking, is it not? I'm asking, can you confirm that for me? The reason behind that is you turn to that. You turn to the Torah. You turn to the Buddhist Bible. You turn to all the Bibles. That actually one of the things that's very consistent. That's very consistent. That right there. This is the basis of our religion. All things will be made new and become whole again. So these athletes that are coming out there saying, hey, yes, I have talent, but if it wasn't for the Lord on my side, Lamar Jackson is a great example. Comes from the hood of Florida. He still got the hood in him. You can hear it in his speech. They call it the South Florida twang. It's still there. But what's he always say? Man, I thank God that I'm here. I thank God that I got drafted. I thank God I won MVP. I thank God for this. That's the first thing out of that young man's mouth. But you know what they did though? Remember when he was in the car going 100 some miles an hour with no seatbelt on? Oh, you ain't no real. What is this? You're supposed to be a man of the people. You can't be doing that stuff.
No, I'll give you a better example, right? This dude went on Instagram. This is a few years back. He went on Instagram on a live stream, and this video went viral. And it made me really look at him and atheists and question their position, right? So I think he's in Kentucky or Nebraska, one of those two states. And there's a major thunderstorm that's going on, right?
Man, we talked about
Thunder's going on all around him and everything like that. He's like, I don't believe in God. This is just natural. This is world science, this, that, and there. Because if there was a God, there would be a lightning strike right on my car in 3, 2.
Well, not on his car, like it was lightning and thunder or something like that. You had thunder right now or something like that.
He counted down
2, 1, and
it struck. Not only did it struck, but it struck right next to his car. And he looked at it. He looked at the camera. He paused for a moment. He was all like, I think I need to rethink my hypothesis.
God doesn't play when you challenge him, he'll take it. My whole thing is people are confused with him because I get it. The Bible's very confusing.
It's not confusing, it's contradictory.
But is it? Is it really contradictory? Because remember we talked about that before, and I showed you that how it wasn't contradictory. It's a lesson in everything that's being told in that Bible.
Correct.
There's a lesson in everything being told.
Have everything, it makes it contradicting. We know the Bible isn't complete. We know this, right? So when you take other stuff that was supposed to be included in this book called the Bible, it raises more questions than gives you answers.
You know what's funny? I'm trying to think of it was Mel Brooks in the 70s had this movie, and it was supposed to he played the part of Moses. He went to the top of the mountain. And I mentioned this for a reason. So he goes up there and he gets apparently he has 20 commandments, right? He's got 2 tablets.
Yeah.
So he turns around, he's coming down the mountain. He's like, hey, God has given me 20 rules to live by. Boom, he falls. The one tablet breaks.
I saw that. Well, we got 10. I saw that. I remember that.
I bring it up to say this. You don't think he has a sense of humor? You don't think that he's not vengeful? You think he's not all forgiving? Think about that. How many emotions is that right there? That would almost, the average human is considered bipolar when you have all those emotions going on, right?
What are you?
Or multiple personal.
So what you trying to say?
I'm trying to think. What I'm trying to tell you is regardless if you put all the pieces of the Bible,
bipolar, not on air.
Regardless if you put all the pieces in the Bible together, and you want to say it's contradicting, that's God. He's all of that in one. Whatever you read about him, that's what he is. Unfortunately, people aren't that way. What do I mean? We read about Mr. Swallowed Up. We read about what's his name? Joel Osteen.
We'll be back.
Hey, you. Me? Yes, you. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Hell yeah! GLM Designs can help you with just that. Word? From laptop skins? You lying! Promotional flyers? Yo, son! Promo videos? I need that! OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds. Hey, yo, let me get that! Professional one-sheets and so much more. Oh my God. Please visit our website, I'm on it right now. GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs. Got it! Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World. Follow it! GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs. Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for?
Oh, poor little Tink. Oh, poor little Tink. So we have to go to commercial because he's over here going way left. We ain't talking about being swallowed up. We talked about that during our meeting. We're not doing that no more.
True, I have no idea what he's talking about. If y'all caught it, we probably was cut off. I was saying you hear about all these pastors
Being swallowed up.
That's not what I said. I was just didn't want to call him Bishop Jakes, but if you want to call him Bishop Jakes, call him Bishop Jakes. But to understand to get to what I was saying, is that you hear about all these pastors now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We've never really seen what they went through to get there. Do I think they've lost their way? Quite a few of them have. I have no doubt in my mind, quite a few of those mega church pastors have lost their way. And that's what's happening right now. The reckoning is happening.
Armageddon.
You build the church upon my name, but you don't live by my word.
Now, speaking of that, right? Let's stay right there. Want to ask the question. Well, it's more so a statement. Let's talk about how God forgives, but I don't. Everybody kind of want to know what I mean by that.
I'll lay hands.
How would you feel if somebody touched something that didn't belong to them but belonged to you? What would you do? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is.
It reminds me of a song of what would you do if your son was at home
Crying all alone.
screaming on the floor because he's hungry? What do you do in that aspect? Like what do you
I
do?
wasn't gonna go there. You went kind of extreme for me. I was more so talking about like if somebody was to touch my food without my knowledge or notification, what would you do?
Well, so the situation is this simple. I hope you think it's good.
Because it's coming right back up.
Mike, oh boy. See,
He said everything I just said.
And I and you know what, Mike? Here's what I'm gonna add something to that. Because when it says in the Bible, turn the other cheek.
I ain't got too many to turn.
Last I checked, we only got 2 cheeks.
Well, 4 if you want to count the ones on your face.
I only got 2 that I'm turning. If I turn around and you see my ass, that means you on the ground. You've been knocked the fuck out. or shot, because this time I'm a little too old to be fighting y'all. I'm just gonna shoot you. Especially since nowadays y'all, this generation doesn't understand when you lose a fight, you lose a fight. Don't come back to my house unless you're bringing food that you ate or the money to replace it. There's lessons to be learned everywhere. I could let y'all just go in the comments. This is right. It's not impossible, but it's hard as hell. You ain't lying, man. You have no. I applaud myself with my patience on a daily basis.
No, I had a growing moment.
A growing moment?
A growing moment. Like, I grew up spiritually, emotionally, and mentally in one day. During one occasion. I'm not going to get into details about it. I think you know some other people that might be tuning in kind of know what I'm talking about. But over the past, let's just say 24 hours, times has been a little bit tough for your boy, right? Mentally, right? I had a growing moment where I grew spiritually. And I knew I grew spiritually when I was able to say, you know what? I'm mad now. Fuck it. That's growth. That's growth. Because some people still hold grudges till this day.
Holding a grudge or not remembering? I'm sorry, not forgetting.
No, holding a grudge. Holding a grudge. Like, I get I see where you're coming from and I know the difference, but yeah.
I guess, question, do y'all know the difference between that? Holding a grudge or just not remembering? What I mean by that is
holding a grudge or not letting go. That's basically what he means by that.
I keep saying not remembering, not forgetting. I try not. I've been working on this for years because there are certain people that just know that button to push with me. I try not to hold grudges. I don't want ulcers. You're laughing, but I don't. I got kids to live for. I got a life to live. We have a fan base to grow. I've got growing to do spiritually.
Yes, you do.
I ain't ready for it. So you want to cross the line?
Like I said, God forgives, I don't.
It goes back to this right here. It's not impossible, but it's hard. So for every 2 steps, please, y'all, don't make me take 3 steps back. I didn't say 1, I said 3. If I take 3 steps backward, my wife's gonna be mad. First of all, she gotta get me out of jail. He's gonna be mad because he's probably gonna have to hear it from her on the way to get me out of jail. And my kids ain't gonna understand why daddy's in jail. And everybody else can be like, see, you shouldn't have did that. Now he's in jail.
I'm just gonna tell you, everybody in my family know. They look, this is how the financial budget in not my household, but my family works. And I'm including my mom and my sister. Love you, Mom. Bills, savings, Jay's Bell. Because they know. Don't call me unless you want me to do something about it. Now, at the end of the day, if you want me to do something about it, you might not like my methods, but you're going to appreciate the results. And I saw that. Are you okay? That hurt, huh? That hurt.
That was a awakening moment.
Oh, shit.
That was a awakening moment.
Speaking of distractions, tell me what you just did.
So, those of y'all know, I've had this in my
He's
hand.
been playing with this goddamn clip all goddamn show. All show.
So I just clipped my ring and my finger together. It doesn't feel good. Awakening moment. Won't happen again.
So we got some time left. What do y'all want to talk about?
Actually, you know what? We've gotten away from our sports for over a month.
Fuck sports, man. This year is about growth and controversy.
Y'all see that?
Man.
The reason why I don't want to talk sports, they got this shirt on.
Man.
I'll just let, if y'all want to know why. How many games the Yankees beat the Orioles today?
So let's talk about basketball and playoffs. Fuck baseball right now. We ain't even there because we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh,
we're not even at All-Star break yet.
We don't need to be.
Shit.
We got an MVP candidate.
You're gonna fall. The Baltimore Orioles always end up going on a 15-game losing streak somewhere in the season.
Didn't happen last year. Didn't happen the year before that. So where are you getting your information?
Oh, that's gonna happen this year then.
Okay, 15 games, huh?
It's gonna happen this year.
I ain't bet you because it's gonna take a while to pay up. So.
Man, so I want to talk basketball, and I think if we gonna go sports, I'm gonna talk basketball. And
Actually,
I
got a question for Mike.
No, fuck that.
How do you feel about your draft?
Let me finish. You
drag it too long.
How I feel about my draft was awesome. But going back to basketball, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and the Minnesota Timberwolves might go all the way.
Oh, they're the favorites now.
They about to take out Denver, bro. I think they're playing tonight. I think they're gonna sweep them. Not tonight. I think
it's game 3
tonight.
But here's my thing on it though.
And they're playing in Minnesota. Yeah.
What does Minnesota have? What's the blueprint Minnesota's using to stop them?
To stop
Denver.
Okay.
What's the blueprint they're using?
They're
tough defense. And then they have a superstar guard.
Hold on, Mike. What you mean you're not happy with the Bears at all?
Oh, wait. Whoa.
Let's go back.
So you got the proverbial best quarterback on.
I think the Bears had a decent. They did what they were supposed to do. Was it an outstanding draft? Was it an awesome draft? Something to put them over the top? No. But did they do what they were supposed to do to be a contender this year? I think so. And you got room to grow. They can make some trades.
I like what you're saying. And I think I see what he's saying because they could have done all this with Justin Fields.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my I get it. He's on the last year, right? You don't want to give him that 5th-year deal.
He didn't want the 5th-year option either. Justin, well, what rumor has it, he was hoping that the Bears wouldn't pick up that 5th-year option. He wanted out of Chicago.
Where did you hear that at?
What's his name from ESPN? What's his name? I got to Google him real quick. I can see his fucking face. What the fuck is his name?
Wendy?
No, is it Wendy? The fat dude, right?
Yeah, Wendy.
Yeah, him.
I don't remember him saying that at all.
There was an article that came out on ESPN. You didn't read it?
I did not remember him saying anything about not. I remember they said that the Bears weren't picking it up, but they're looking to trade it. But they didn't want to say that they were trading it. And then when he took the Bears off of all of his public handles, and then it was like that's when it became quote unquote official.
Okay, hold on. He says no, they did not. They let go just like you said.
I think the guy is going to. So here's what I think is.
And
Caleb Williams
is about to be utilized in Pittsburgh better than Chicago did. Like, honestly,
he's got weapons.
Honestly,
it's the line that's the only questionable thing.
That for Pittsburgh, and they did what they were supposed to do in the draft as well. That's why, like, for the Steelers fan, I'm not.
The future looks good.
Yes, I cannot. Coming out the AFC,
not first place good, but it looks good.
Coming out the AFC for
not
the
second
Steelers,
place good either, but it's
coming out the AFC for the Steelers.
North.
They are a playoff contender. Top 5.
Well,
top 5.
Top 5 teams in the AFC?
Top 5.
Are you okay?
On paper, where? What paper are you looking
at? Are you looking at it upside down?
You would still put them in your top 10, right? Why not put them in your top 5?
Really? You want to go there?
Go ahead.
Kansas City.
Number 1.
Buffalo. Miami.
I would go Miami, Baltimore. Buffalo.
I'm not saying in order. You're talking about top 5.
Yeah, okay.
Buffalo, Miami,
you would
Baltimore.
Still put Buffalo in your top 5 right now? With Josh Allen as your quarterback?
Why? He's been the quarterback. What's going to change?
Okay. He's inconsistent.
He's not inconsistent. The thing is, the offense wasn't good enough. Now they're saying, here, the offense is all you. Go do your thing. So now we get to really see how good he is.
See, when Josh Allen came into the league that first year.
He sucked. The second year when
Okay, all right, it's the second year that I'm talking about.
When he got Stephon Diggs.
He had a great fucking season. No, it was his first going into his second year. I saw the potential in him going into his second year. He going, like you said, going into his second year. I'm like, okay, this
not going his second year. He was solid. He was solid. His first year, he sucked.
And then his third year, he fell off, and I'm like, Buffalo's done. Buffalo's done. They're not a contender to me right now.
I don't know what. Maybe it's your beer goggles, but I don't know what.
I don't even see Buffalo making a wild card this year, bro. They got rid of Stephon Diggs.
So okay, so here's the thing: who's the reigning AFC East contender?
AFC East.
Who's in there? Okay, that's Buffalo's division: Buffalo, New England, New York Jets, and Miami. That's the AFC East. So out of that one, who won the AFC last year? Who won it for the past 4 years?
Now, I will give you credit on that point right there, but I will say the caveat is we never know what would have happened with the AFC East if Rodgers didn't go down for the Jets. I want to see what the Jets are going to do this year.
I can tell you what would have happened. The same thing that's been happening.
You think so?
They have no offensive line.
Okay.
So it was just a matter of time before he went down. They had no backup quarterback.
Not the first play of the first game.
They had no backup quarterback.
And the non-contact. You wouldn't expect that. Come on, Rodgers. Like, let's get rid of the mushrooms. Like, first play, first game, first drive, non-contact injury, done for the season. Like, come on. Nobody expected that. Nobody did.
But the whole thing is, it was just a matter of time behind that offensive line. He was going down. They had no backup quarterback. This year, they're in a better situation. They have a decent backup quarterback.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers goes
I want to see what the Jets are going to do in their division this year.
And then also the rookie quarterback they drafted, they're talking about, even Aaron Rodgers is giddy about this guy.
You know what team in the NFL I'm still trying to make sense of right now?
Don't tell me Atlanta, because I'm tired of hearing about that.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to make sense of that.
I'm not. It made sense to me. It makes perfect sense. Here's why. Cousins is coming off an ACL injury.
I get that.
So, and
you don't know what you're going to get.
That's not where I'm going. Your offensive line was last year.
Okay.
So therefore, you're in a situation where you just came out of there with two subpar quarterbacks.
Okay.
That you kept rotating in and out, situational. That didn't work for you. Where you come out with a guy from Bo Penix, Penix, who is actually a really smart football guy.
Yes, he's intellectually smart.
And he can go into any system. He was in learning. So you're giving him at least, right now he signs a rookie deal, he gets the playbook. He's studying. He's working out. He's understanding. You only maybe will get 2 good years, if that, out of Cousins. But we don't know with his ACL injury, because the ACL injury takes him.
And that's where I'm getting at. So what I'm confused about that whole fucking situation. Why offer this man a $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed? Why? That part doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it wouldn't have made sense if it was after the draft. It was before the draft, before their pick came up, and their number 2 quarterback that they had rated was available. People don't want to look at why did they draft him. They don't need a quarterback. Actually, you do need at least 2 good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get all that. I'm not worried. Like, I don't have a problem with Atlanta drafting a quarterback. I don't, especially when you don't know what you're getting out of Kirk Cousins.
So if they would have drafted, here's the question: if they would have drafted him in the second round,
offering Kirk Cousins, it still wouldn't make sense to me, because at the end of the day, you have him signed to a $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed, and you don't know what you're getting. How the fuck are you going to get your money's worth? How? You can't play him. And if you do play him, he get injured. They're stuck in the fucking Russell Wilson situation.
No, they're not.
You don't think so?
They insured the contract.
That's what we don't know, though.
They did insure that contract. You can guarantee he's coming anytime. I found this out from a couple of people that actually are NFL people, that when it comes to you coming off an injury, regardless if it's guaranteed or not, You're getting paid, yeah. But guess what? Your contract is also insured for a certain amount. So that's why they can sit there and say, hey, you know what? You come out, you get hurt again, it's insured. We just got to file the claim and see what we're going to get.
That's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
I mean, that's like when you go buy a big screen TV, you're not going to insure it. When you buy your expensive electronics, you're not going to insure it. That's on you not to insure it. Then if it goes wrong after that 1 year of the manufacturer's warranty, guess what? It's on you to go pay another $2,000 to go get a new product. I would rather have the warranty saying that, hey, it's only going to not going to cost me anything with that extended warranty. I'd have to come out of pocket maybe a few dollars if I want to do another extended warranty.
Okay, so let's say Kurt doesn't show up, not injured, but he just doesn't show up. He doesn't produce. You're still out $100 million. He's playing.
The thing is, you got a rookie, so you're not paying that much to him. Regard, okay, that's $100. You can't. We'll say, what is it, $50 million a year? Okay, you got to eat that. But guess what? Your other quarterback, whatever the rookie scale is for the 8th round pick, it's not that bad of a deal then. He ain't living up to his thing. Well, you're going to the bench. We'll just play the rookie. We'll figure you out after the year or 2 years or whatever it is.
Atlanta holding the bag, like that's what I feel. They're going to be stuck holding that $100 million bag for no fucking reason, and that's the part of it that doesn't make sense. Like, I get why they drafted the quarterback in the first round, right? I get that.
It's who you wanted.
Exactly, right?
No doubt about it.
But Kirk Cousins, like, his agent was a motherfucker. He had a good agent.
It wasn't his agent. It was just him.
You don't think Kirk Cousins had a good agent to negotiate that deal?
It wasn't him to go. Here's what Kirk has said repeatedly. If you remember, even when he was doing the guaranteed contracts with, the
franchise
contracts with Washington. He told his agent, "You do not get me an extension. I'll just do the franchise and play on it." After that, he's like, "This is what I'm looking for, guaranteed wise."
You stay right there though. When he was playing that franchise contract, right, with Washington, right, and then what was the team right after Washington? Because he's a journeyman, right?
Well, no, he's not a journeyman. He was only played Washington, Minnesota, and now Atlanta.
Thought he played for one more team.
But he was drafted by Washington.
But what I was the point that I was getting to was when those franchise contracts came up, right? That was the best I ever seen him play in his whole entire career.
The best he ever played was last year because he was on MVP total until he got hurt.
You think so? Last year?
Look at his numbers. He was tops in just about every category. And you can't help it when you got Justin Jefferson.
He was on Jaguars. That's what it was. He was on the Jaguars too. He 2012 draft pick, back up to RG3. So you're right. He did get drafted to Washington.
What are you talking about? He was never on the Jaguars. You just looked at it. No, that's not him in a Jaguars jersey. That's Trevor Lawrence in a Jaguar jersey.
Talking about they might do a trade. Oh, this is Redding. Fuck Redding. I don't like them anyway. But yeah, so their third string quarterback got waived. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I forgot that guy's name.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
He was like, there was some big story on him too. But my whole thing is like the NFL.
The draft this year was actually a decent draft.
Depending on what team.
Now the Cowboys, you done dropped the ball this year. All Cowboys fans don't say shit. All Cowboys fans don't have a right to say shit this year, bro.
Y'all got Ezekiel Elliott. You're going to Super Bowl.
For a 1 year deal. And then they're talking about trading, what's his name? For
I'm not that.
Not
CD.
They trying to get because Pittsburgh is trying to trade Najee Harris to the Cowboys. Pollard? No, it's not Pollard. Who the fuck is it? I forgot. But I
can't. Yeah, I know you. I can't think of you.
But going back to the NBA playoffs this year, I'm glad. I'm honestly glad that there's no LeBron, there's no Steph, there's no KD this year.
Oh no,
I'm glad.
Playoffs. He's not in this round. He was in the playoffs. He's just not. So, got to call that it. There's no cap. No cap. You had cap. KD, Steph.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to say. If y'all have not, go back and look at Anthony Edwards' shot. I was watching him the other night, And I was like, holy cow, his shot is exactly at the high point arch of Jordan. I'm not saying he's like Jordan. Just watch his shot.
A lot of people are saying that he is the second coming to Kobe. And they're saying that his game has got a mixture of MJ and Kobe together.
Well, that's not saying anything. Kobe's game was a mixture of MJ. So that's not. If you want to, here's the thing: what Kobe did that people forget about. He went to to learn the dream shape from Olajuwon and mastered that. That's when his turnaround really started getting nasty. I mean, complete nasty. When he scored the 81 against the Toronto, that was bad for business. The year he should have won MVP and they gave it to Steve Nash. That was bad for business. Politics. But yeah, you look at it, just go back. I'm telling you, I'm not saying he is Jordan. It's Jordan. His jumper is eerily similar. Even I'll say it's closer to Kobe than it is Jordan, but it looks, oh my gosh. And it's so sweet. It's just now, my only problem with him, he's got to play.
Pacers are beating the Knicks right now in the second quarter.
That happened last game. I don't look at the second quarter. The 6 minutes left in the third quarter, that's when things really get interesting. For some reason this year, the 6 minute mark of the third quarter, that's when all the games seem to really get interesting.
What I am upset about, though, there's only one game on today. That's what I'm upset about.
Yeah, because I think the other game is
Mavericks and Thunder and
yesterday.
Celtics. So the Nuggets and Timberwolves don't play game 3
Tomorrow.
until Friday.
How many? They played 2 already, right?
Yep, this is game 3, and they play in Minnesota on Friday.
Well, how convenient for the Nuggets to recover
That part.
and still lose.
Well, folks, I'm glad that you tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, all new viewers, hit that notification button so that way you can get our notifications every time we post. Until next week, we love you. And we say as every week, stay true, stay blessed. Any last words? No? All right. Until next week, we will see you.